Just so stories Rudyard Kipling. When the cabin portholes are dark and green because of the seas outside. When the ship goes wop with a wiggle between and the steward falls into the soup tureen and trunks begin to slide. When Nursey lies on the floor in a heap and Mummy tells you to let her sleep and you aren't waked or washed or dressed, why, then you will know if you haven't guessed you're en quo. 50 north and 40 west. Ampersand quo. How the whale got his throat. The camel's hump is an ugly lump which well you may see at the zoo. But uglier yet is the hump we get from having too little to do. Kiddies and grown-ups too. If we haven't enough to do, we get the hump, Camellia's hump, the hump that is black and blue. We climb out of bed with a frowsly head and a snarly voice. We shiver and scowl and we grunt and we growl at our bath in our boots and our toys. And there ought to be a corner for me, and I know there is one for you when we get the hump, Camellia's hump, the hump that is black and blue. The cure for this ill is not to sit still, or frost with a book by the fire, but to take a large hoe and a shovel also, and dig till you gently perspire. And then you will find that the sun and the wind, and the gin of the garden too, have lifted the hump, the horrible hump, the hump that is black and blue. I get it as well as you. If I haven't enough to do. We all get hump, Camellia's hump, kiddies and grown-ups too. How the camel got his hump I am the most wise Bavion, saying in most wise tones, Ampersand quo. Let us melt into the landscape, just us two by our lones. Ampersand quo. People have come, in a carriage, calling. But Mummy is there. Yes, I can go if you take me, Nurse says she don't care. Let's go up to the pigsties and sit on the farmyard rails. Let's say things to the bunnies, and watch 'em skitter their tails. Let's, anything, Daddy, so long as it's you and me, and going truly exploring, and not being in till tea. Here's your boots, I've brought 'em, and here's your cap and stick, and here's your pipe and tobacco. Oh, come along out of it, quick. How the leopard got his spots. I keep 6 honest serving men, they taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why and when and how and where and who. I send them over land and sea, I send them east and west. But after they have worked for me, I give them all a rest. I let them rest from 9 till 5, for I am busy then, as well as breakfast, lunch and tea, for they are hungry men. But different folk have different views. I know a person small, she keeps 10 million serving men, who get no rest at all. She sends them abroad on her own affairs, from the second she opens her eyes, 1 million hows, 2 million wheres, and 7 million whys. The Elephant's Child. This is the mouth-filling song of the race that was run by a boomer. Run in a single burst, only event of its kind, started by Big God King from Warragabbarigaro Oma, Old Man Kangaroo first, Yellow Dog Dingo behind. Kangaroo bounded away, his back legs working like pistons, bounded from morning till dark, 25 feet at a bound. Yellow Dog Dingo lay like a yellow cloud in the distance, much too busy to bark. My! But they covered the ground. Nobody knows where they went, or followed the track that they flew in, for that continent hadn't been given a name. They ran 30 degrees from Torres Straits to Lewin. Look at the atlas, please. Then they ran back as they came. Supposing you could trot from Adelaide to the Pacific for an afternoon's run, half what these gentlemen did, you would feel rather hot, but your legs would develop terrific. Yes, my importunate son, you'd be a marvelous kid. The sing-song of Old Man Kangaroo. I've never sailed the Amazon, I've never reached Brazil. But the Don and Magdalena, they can go there when they will. Yes, weekly from Southampton great steamers, white and gold, go rolling down to Rio. Roll down to Rio. And I'd like to roll to Rio someday before I'm old. I've never seen a jaguar, nor yet an armadillo, he's billowing in his armor, and I suppose I never will, unless I go to Rio these wonders to behold. Roll down to Rio, roll really down to Rio. Oh, I'd love to roll to Rio someday before I'm old. The beginning of the armadillos. China going p.ampersand 0. Spas Paama's playground close, and his Pusatazak lies near the track of most bys. NYK and NDL know Paama's home as well as the fisher of the sea knows ampersand quo. bens, ampersand quo. Millimeters is in rubatinos. But, and this is rather queer, ATLs cannot come here. 0. And 0. And D.0.A. Must go round another way. Orient, anchor, bibby, hull, never go that way at all. UCS would have a fit if it found itself on it. And if and quo. Beavers and quo. Took their cargoes to Penang instead of Lagos, or a fat Shasaville bore passengers to Singapore, or a White Star were to try a little trip to Surabaya, or a Bees. A went on past Natal to Cheribon, the great Mr. Lloyds would come with a wire and drag them home. You will know what my riddle means when you've eaten langoustines. The crab that played with the sea pussy can sit by the fire and sing, pussy can climb a tree, or play with a silly old cork and string to amuse herself, not me. But I like Binky my dog, because he knows how to behave. So, Binky's the same as the first friend was, and I am the man in the cave. Pussy will play Man Friday till it's time to wet her paw and make her walk on the windowsill for the footprint Crusoe saw. Then she fluffles her tail and mews, and scratches and won't attend. But Binky will play whatever I choose, and he is my true first friend. Pussy will rub my knees with her head pretending she loves me hard. But the very minute I go to my bed Pussy runs out in the yard, and there she stays till the morning light. So I know it is only pretend. But Binky, he snores at my feet all night, and he is my firstest friend. The cat that walked by himself this uninhabited island is near Cape Gardafa. But it's hot, too hot, off Suez for the likes of you and me ever to go in a P&ampersand dump. 0. To call on the cake Parsi. How the rhinoceros got his skin. There was never a queen like Balkis, from here to the wide world's end. But Balkis talked to a butterfly as you would talk to a friend. There was never a king like Solomon, not since the world began. But Solomon talked to a butterfly as a man would talk to a man. She was queen of Sabia, and he was Asia's lord, but they both of them talked to butterflies when they took their walks abroad. The butterfly that stamped,